Conservative talk show host Rush Limbaugh calls it one of the truly substantive books I've read. He's talking about Sarah Palin's book that comes out next week and which started leaking today. And he actually said that specific thing about it.
I made a prediction to her when I talked to her yesterday. I said, you've got enough in here that people who get hold of this, like the AP or any of the state-controlled media, they're going to focus on what they say is soap opera aspects of your book, and they're going to ignore what is truly one of the most substantive policy books I've read.
Going Rogue is one of the most substantive policy books Rush Limbaugh has read in his life, in his whole life. I will admit to finding that intriguing. The Associated Press somehow sneakily obtained a copy of the book in advance. They report that the Republican vice presidential candidate says the McCain campaign stuck her with a bill for $50,000, her share, she says, of the cost for vetting her for the vice presidency. The McCain campaign's general counsel responded to The Atlantic today by saying, quote, I can confirm that she was not billed for any vetting costs by the campaign. Several high-ranking McCain aides told the Washington Post that Palin most likely confused the cost of vetting her candidacy with the money she had to pay her own lawyer to defend herself from ethics charges in Alaska that were unrelated to the campaign. What's alleged to be a short excerpt from the book posted on a conservative website today also has Palin saying that she agreed to do what turned out to be that disastrous interview with CBS anchor Katie Couric because Palin, quote, started to feel sorry for her after being told by a McCain campaign staffer, Nicole Wallace, that Katie Couric had, quote, low self-esteem. Couric is not commenting on that, at least for now, but we have now entered into the part where Sarah Palin herself will be unavoidable for comment for quite some time.
You do say that it wasn't your best interview.
Here again,
that was a seminal defining moment for you, that interview?
I did not, and neither did the campaign. In fact, that is why segment 2 and 3 and 4 and maybe 5 were scheduled. The campaign said, right on, good, you're showing your independence, this is what America needs to see. And it was a good interview, and of course I'm thinking, if you thought that was a good interview, I don't know what a bad interview was, because I knew it wasn't a good interview.
The response from an anonymous former senior McCain campaign official to the Washington Post about that, quote, no sentient person would look at that and say that. Ouch. Joining us now, the most sentient person with good sources in the McCain camp who will agree to come on this show, Anna Marie Cox, national correspondent and host of Inside Story for Air America Radio. Hi, Anna Marie. Thanks for joining us.
It's good to be here, Rachel. I think there are McCain staffers that might come on your show eventually, by the way, and they are sentient. We
ask all the time, and I will tell you behind the scenes, don't tell anybody, just between you and me. They've been very rational and willing to talk to us about it, but still no yeses. I can't help but think we're getting close, but
you might have to wait a little while. Let's just say until a certain book disappears off the bestseller list.
Okay. Well, how are they overall from your reporting? Can you characterize for us overall how McCain campaign folks are feeling about this?
Yeah, I spent some time on the phone today with a few different campaign staffers, McCain campaign staffers, and I think there's sort of 3 general areas of emotion I can say. One is dismay. This is a really unusual book for a lot of reasons, and one of them is that these kinds of books usually don't get written. This kind of campaign score settling doesn't usually happen this soon after a campaign. Emotions like this don't usually get brought out. And then I'd say there is some genuine hurt also among some staffers, and they're just human. And part of it has to do, I think, with the weird personal nature of the attacks that Sarah Palin makes. She makes fun of Steve Schmidt for being, and I quote, rotund. That's like an oddly personal and petty thing to say, and I think it's understandable for people to get upset about that. And then I think the last emotion, which is the most rational of them, is that they can't believe anyone's taking this seriously. And to be honest, I don't think I'm here on your show talking about it, but I'm not taking this book seriously. That accusation about the vetting is so patently false. Like, just anyone who's done any reporting about campaigns, the idea that a campaign would bill back a possible nominee for vetting is so outrageous. Now, I can't think of a single reporter who probably called the campaign to ask about that or called McCain staffers to ask about that thought it was true.
And
I think that...
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was
going to say... Whoa.
You. I pull rank. You go next.
I was just going to say, I think that the other accusations in the book are along those lines. Like, there's just stuff in there that, having known these people and having, like, I don't agree with them on very much, but I know these staffers pretty well, and reading what I've read, the excerpts I've read, I just plain don't believe what Sarah Palin has to say about them.
Anything specifically that, besides the vetting, that sticks out to you as just patently unbelievable based on your reporting and your knowledge about the campaign?
That they would be concerned about her weight in some kind of condescending way seems unrealistic to me. The fact that they would curse in front of her small child seems unrealistic to me. And these are people who I'm pretty sure curse, and I've heard them curse. I curse. I bet you do every once in a while. That most of us who are sentient human beings can control ourselves around children.
Yeah.
And I think that is also just, again, that weirdly specific and weirdly petty thing to say. Rachel, I don't think she's a serious person, Sarah Palin. I think that this book is in some ways not just a source of score settling, not just something of score settling. It portrays an alternate universe.
It will be a huge media juggernaut, though, over the course of the next week. Just purely, if you can tell, just by the attention that the advance excerpts got today, and so
just by the fact that I'm here talking to you about it now,
and everybody else is too. But that's going to put McCain staffers in the position, if there are things in it that are wrong, those things will be taken as true unless McCain staffers come out and say that they're not true. And so even though they want this to go away, they're going to be put in a truth-telling position unless they want her version of the facts to stand.
And I think something that's really unusual is you've already seen Mark Salter, who, very close campaign aide for McCain, very close aide for him for 20 years, has already come out in public and done something he hasn't done before, I think, which is to correct some of the misapprehensions in this book about Nicole Wallace. Steve Schmidt has said some things. I was on the phone. I will say I spoke with him today, and he actually said it would be fine if I said that I spoke to him about some of these accusations and some of the things that he wanted to deny specifically. Although I can also base it, again, on how I know these people and saw some of these interactions. And just find to have the stuff that she's saying just does not have the ring of truth to me.
Anna Marie Cox, national correspondent and host of Inside Story for Air America Radio. My prediction is that Sarah Palin's reputation is going to be substantively different a week from tonight than it is right now because of what's going to happen with this book. And
I think you're right, and I hope you're right.
Thank you for your time tonight, Anna Marie. Good to see you.